I studied at the University of Melbourne. So I was studying a Bachelor of Science there, majoring in computing and software systems. And I was lucky enough to be able to get a job once I finished and graduated from undergrad. So I'm now a graduate software engineer. I started off with one of our teams in the city doing a unclass project for the UK government, working on the legislation drafting system there. And I'm now working for another one of our teams out at Scoresby, which I've just recently moved to. So yeah, so I studied at the University of Melbourne, and I'm now working as a software engineer, fully embedded in my team. Honestly, it's a bit of a change going from uni to work. You lose a certain amount of freedom in your time. I guess in terms of that transition, it is a change. Leidos are really good, particularly I did it a bit after I'd started full-time work, but at the start of the grad program, you have a couple of days where you meet all the other grads, and you have a couple of days with Greg, and a big part of that is about doing that transition into working life and as a professional. So I guess that's something that's really beneficial about the Leidos program is they do appreciate that it's your first time in a professional setting. In terms of any tips for the transition from university to work, guys, everyone I guess has a different experience with it. For me, the best thing I think that helped me kind of go through that transition and adapt to the new environment was keeping an open mind and being really open to learning, taking what's around you, and accepting that you might get things wrong. There are things you're not going to know. So I guess that is tough in terms of when you first come in, you're overwhelmed a bit by how much you don't know. But just keeping an open mind about that and knowing that that's all people expect of you is that you're coming in to learn. They don't expect you to know everything. So that's probably the best tip I can give is just being open-minded. Don't have too high expectations on yourself. Just go in and be ready to learn and take in what's going on around you. And that's probably the best tip I can give.
Yeah, and I'd echo a lot of that. And I would say generally for a company to invest in a graduate program, they're so determined to get your perspective and your ideas, and that's something I think grads generally to have those ideas, to have the questions or the ways of asking the same questions differently. I think it's being ready to be eager and hungry to kind of offer those up without worrying about any consequences. So kind of talk to around, don't be afraid of making mistakes. You're here to learn. The teams that are around grads are usually aware of the kind of learning curve that you're about to go through, but they are just as hungry to kind of get your questions, that your ideas of why haven't you done this differently, or why do you do it this way. So yeah, my tips would be like hyped up, like overly enthusiastic and curious around how things work, why they work the way that they work, and be quick to kind of question and then have ideas, but be respectful with how you approach or offer those ideas and opinions. The people that you're working with generally in the grad space, they're going to be highly experienced. They'd love to get your perspective, but at the same time, they've also, I guess, they've got a few years under their belt. They may be interested in sharing some of their wisdoms, etc., with you as well.
I'd echo that note there, Greg. Working across, as a graduate attraction consultant, talking a number of different employers, that's the consistent message. Looking for students who can bring those new ideas and all that sort of stuff forward. It's the big reason why they're invested in this space. While people like Greg doing these sort of chats, I wanted to talk to students. So bring that attitude. It'll take you a long way.